Hey everybody, my name is Angie Mack and I am at the Grafton House of Blues, which is actually my house, but I nicknamed it the Grafton House of Blues. That's another story for another time. Welcome to Conversations with Angie. Today I have with me a special guest who's going to introduce herself right away. Today we're going to be talking about some of the processes that we go through as writers, and we're going to share some of our poems. We're going to share a little bit about boundaries in relationships, and we're also going to be talking about freedom of expression as artists. So thank you for listening, and we'll get to talking to Aleecia, who's also known as Noble, because that is what her name means, Aleecia Noble Garcia. I'll let her introduce herself to you today.
Peace, I'm Noble, embodying artivism, innovation, and just entrepreneurship in general. I'm 20 years old, from Chicago, and my motto is that through self-determination and dedication, success is bound to be the destination, no matter what you are pursuing.
It's beautiful. I've been so inspired by this young woman, and she's only 20 years old, and I am already learning things from her. Right away, something that I learned from her is she wrote this beautiful poem. And as I was listening to her read it, I thought, you know, anybody could almost say this poem on a daily basis, and it could actually help them to feel better about themselves. I'm wondering if you would like to share that poem.
Sure.
Yeah, what is it called again?
I am that I am.
I am that I am.
Yeah, so I'm going to read it today. I wrote this on my way back from Mexico. I was on a plane just reflecting on the experiences that I've had, and it started flowing. So as I prepare.
That's beautiful. Well, you just took a great big trip to Costa Rica as well.
Yes.
That is fantastic. Let us know when you find it.
Welcome magic and wonder, brilliance and grace. Welcome joy, satisfaction, pleasure and strain.
Nice.
I am that I am. Like a beautiful blossoming tree, I am deeply rooted, flourishing steadily. I will remain grounded even when winds blow heavily. I am consistently evolving, so I don't fret when outcomes aren't what I expect. I love every aspect of me. I rid myself of toxic thought patterns and beliefs. I'm still mending my connection with self. Let's see.
It's okay.
I'm gonna read it off my phone, y'all.
Okay.
This is the rough draft.
Oh,
We're back. That was the rough draft. Got to find a copy right here.
nice.
I am that I am. Like a beautiful blossoming tree, I am deeply rooted, flourishing steadily. I will remain grounded even when winds blow heavily. I am continuously evolving, so I don't fret when outcomes aren't what I expect. I love every aspect of me. I rid myself of toxic thought patterns and beliefs. It wasn't until I immersed myself in nature that I knew what it felt like to be at ease. I am grateful for my trauma and that the grass that it had on my mind is alleviating. Healing feels beautiful as autumn leaves dancing in the wind. Healing feels beautiful as autumn leaves dancing in the wind. In this now moment, I release myself from what doesn't serve my highest good. As Miss Simone said, please don't let me be misunderstood. I'm still mending my connection with self, improving my mental health. I am aware that within me there is wealth, so I'm beyond grateful for the courage to conquer self. I am that I am.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's a journey. You know, we've been talking these last few days that we've gotten to know each other, about how important it is to stand strong in who we are, because there are a lot of expectations about who we should be as creative people or as women, certain age groups. There's a lot of expectations in society, and it's important that we know who we are and what makes us tick. And one of the things that I wish that I would have learned younger in life was to accept the various quirks and ways that I am. There were so many years that I tried to change who I was. And, for example, I'm a creative person, so a lot of times I've got my mind on other things, and sometimes I'm not really, don't have my mind on, menial placement of dishes or, things around the house, I'm always thinking about things. And so I wish that I would have learned earlier in life to embrace, all of me, the strengths and the weaknesses. Yeah. And we were talking earlier about how important it is for us as artists to have freedom of expression. Yes. Do you have anything to share about that?
Mm-hmm. I would just say, for freedom of expression to me means not limiting myself due to other people's outlook, not being prisoner of other people's thoughts, essentially, is what that means. I would say just staying true to my authentic self has been not really filtering myself as far as what I have to say, or not changing up something because I'm afraid that people won't like it, because the idea isn't to be liked. I feel that through our uniqueness is the beauty of our art.
That's beautiful. And it kind of ties into what we were talking about with our journals. One of the things that we did was we compared journals. Mm-hmm. When I found out that she loves to journal, I was really excited. And right away I was like, let me see your journal. Let me see, just how what your process is. Not read it, but just let me just kind of see what it's like. And so she showed it to me. I don't know if you can hold it up a little bit closer, just briefly. Yeah. And the fascinating thing about the way she journals is she writes on the lines, and then she leaves a line that's a space. And her reasoning behind that I thought was really fascinating. Can you share why you leave a space in between each line that you write?
So I would say that when I'm journaling, I'm tapping into all aspects of myself. And sometimes it's like, everything that I say is valid, but I have to go back and sort of correct myself, because like I said, I'm still ridding myself of these toxic thought patterns and beliefs. So if I write something down that I may not even agree with after I write it down, I just needed to extract that thought from my mind, I go back and maybe correct the sentence or rephrase the sentence. So yes, I just give my space room to go back, because everything that we say, it does come to be, and I realize that what we write is important, so I'm very mindful of that. So if I ever feel the need to go back and rephrase something, I leave myself space to do so.
That's fascinating. Did you get that idea of leaving a blank space from someone, or did you come up with that on your own?
It's just something that I came up with on my own as I began journaling, and then I see, especially when I'm writing my pieces, when I was writing in pen, I would want to go back and change something, but there was no room for correction. But I feel that even throughout life, we always have to have room to evolve. So by me leaving that space in between, I'm giving myself room to go back to check myself, because we have to check ourselves, because if we don't, who will?
That's excellent. Yeah, I thought that was really fascinating. And then I started to feel a little embarrassed, because my journal, no, there is zero writing on the lines. I've got squiggles, I've got drawings. I only put a few words on a page. I put ideas. This is the way my brain works.
And that's okay too. We all have our processes.
And, when I started journaling many years ago, actually in middle school, I had, this isn't one from middle school, but I had a little journal like this. It was blue. It's a diary. That was the first one that I had. Yeah, it was like that. Yeah, except it had a lock and a key, which was, kind of cool. But yeah, I've been journaling since middle school. And the reason why I journal, there's a few reasons, but one of them is because I need a safe space where I can write out my thoughts, a safe place where I can write out my opinions, where I can jot down these random ideas that come to my mind. And it's really my space, it is, my journals are my space.
Right.
And it is so important for people to have their own space. And we were talking a little earlier about boundaries, okay? So, a boundary would be that we have to, I obviously wouldn't want somebody going through my journals without permission, I wouldn't be surprised if they have, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but, that's kind of a boundary that I have is, don't go through my stuff if it's not yours.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about boundaries with family members. Sometimes that can be kind of difficult. You were sharing an experience with your brother, who thought it was okay to grab your foot, and you're like, no. I mean, you want to talk a little bit about, boundaries with family?
For sure. So I was just walking up the steps, minding my business, and my brother, he comes and grabs my ankle. Now, it's the ankle, it's not the end of the world that he grabs my ankle, but lately I've just been really sensitive to who touches me. Like, I really haven't felt the need to be touched lately. I've just been trying to protect my energy in a sense that I'm going all lengths to do so. So it wasn't necessarily that he touched my ankle because, but it was just like, it's my ankle. So I just let him know, like, can you not do that? And he was like, you're my sister. I can do whatever I want. But it's like, no, you can't. No, that's not right. I feel that although I am, I'm your sister, I feel that's a lot of the reason why the boundaries sort of get lost through families, because we feel that this is just my sister or this is just my brother. But no, this is, I am another being that is trying to evolve, and through my evolvement I'm establishing these boundaries, and through my boundaries I can probably help you establish some for yourself, because I feel that sometimes we get offended when people express their boundaries because we probably don't have any boundaries ourselves. So boundaries is something that is important. Not even anything simple as touching my ankle, just me in general. My hair, I feel that our hair is our ether, so I don't want just anybody imposing my auric field with their energy. That's, I don't know what mind space you're in as you're doing this. So I don't want no vibes, no low vibes to rub off on me. I don't need that in my life right now.
Yeah, that's excellent. I remember when I was pregnant, oh my gosh, people would touch my belly. I'm like, it would send me to conniptions. I'm like, don't do that, and, and also, sometimes if someone's too close to me, like I just get, kind of like feel uncomfortable, it's not them. It's just, because of various traumas and stuff in my life, sometimes I don't want people very close to me. I also, sometimes I can get triggered by really loud sounds, so, these are just some of the things. One of the poems that I wrote in my first book, poetry book called Be True, it's kind of along these lines, and it's called Nosy Numbskulls. And it was a poem that I wrote a long time ago. And it's so, it's supposed to be humorous. Sometimes I like to write humorous. So this is called Nosy Numbskulls. Given the nosy nature of unnumbered numbskulls, I now know that no one can be trusted. You were not invited into this notebook. Nobody asked you. Yet now you know, or so you think. Actually, you do not know. Nobody knows. Now go. Yeah, it was, I kind of put that in there in case someone was like nosing around on my, looking in my journals.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I just put this nosy numbskulls because I thought, if someone's poking around in my journal, they can read this. So yeah, this is from my first book. It was self-published on a website called Blurb. Have you ever heard of that?
I've never. I have to check it out though.
Yeah, basically these are old poems that I wrote in my 20s. And what it was I basically went through all my journals and grabbed poems and then put them in this. Okay, so as I read through these, I don't necessarily feel about things like I did back then. That's the beauty of writing, is that it's always changing.
For sure.
Yeah, and then the next one that I self-published was called Be Free. And so again, these are poems that were intertwined in my journals, and so anyone can get those on Blurb. Yeah, so recently I also had something published in 2 different anthologies. I was telling you before we started. This is called The Literary Parrot, and it's a global anthology of different writers.
Nice.
And so I was accepted into this. The poem that I have in here is called Vibrations. And I like to write rhythmically, so it kind of goes like this. Vibrations. The quake, the jolt, the vibe. The drums, they do revive. The beat, the bang, the bump. Collaboration, not just one. Shake, shimmer, jazz. Tap, massage, those hands. Rock and rattle, rattle the cold. Friction together, hotter when old. Buzz and wiggle, giggle she does. Music and dancing, vibrations of love. Body quakes, muscle faints, heart it aches for more. Roller coasters, runways, race cars and machines. Rumble roar, I'm out the door. So it's called Vibrations. It's kind of like, it's rhythm, rhythmic. And with me being a musician, I like to write rhythmically. You've written some rhythmic things as well. You've written some lyrics. Would you like to share any of the rhythmic lyrics that you've written? Do you remember any of them?
I do. So
Okay.
I'm going to say, keep it short and simple. We need to apply pressure. If you've forgotten who we are, here's your refresher. The blood flowing through our veins is that of our successors. We the organic beings to earth, composed of treasure. It gets no better. Raw-activated DNA reptiles controlling the weather. Melanated beings consciousness shifting. Overstand me when I say that we're stronger together. And that's it.
Wow. What inspired that?
So a friend and I, we were actually making it was like more of a rap. That was my verse on the rap. And truly, I was just thinking to myself, like, what do we need to hear? And I feel a lot of people it's like a sense of hypnosis going on right now. And a lot of people have forgotten who they are. I even forgot who I was at one point in time. So that was truly to myself. And I just shared it. Everything I write really I'll be talking to myself. And then I just I know I'm not the only one that needs to hear this. So let me just share it with others. So that was truly to myself.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. Yeah, I like that. I'll have you do another one. I'll just read this next one.
For sure.
This one is called Flow. This is from the most recent You can get these on Amazon. They're selling them on Amazon.
Nice.
So it's called The Literary Parrot. This is series 2. Yeah. And the poem that I have in here is called Flow. I love flow. Now go. I swim for the flow. I like jazz for the flow. I like dresses for the flow. Crazy hair that flows. Watercolors flow in the wind when it blows. Everybody knows, mainly Marilyn Monroe. Baby, turn up the car radio. I hear a whistle in the aereo. A peculiar sound that's so rareo. Syncopated scenarios. 3 little birds out my window. Feelings flow, my flowers grow, while whimsical weeds steal the show. My hat flies off, there it goes. I used to be teased for having a fro. Phonemes riff, alliterations dance, fancy phrases, spontaneous laughs. Photographic phases capture the faces, expressionism running high. Open circuits saving time, intuitive physics, my secret in life. Living fluid makes me fly. Without restraints, it's easy to fly. So,
Nice.
yeah, another rhythmic one. What else do you have?
Every rising is like a blank canvas. Ample opportunity to make your mark. It's never too late to embark on a transformational trek. Operating at a low frequency will keep you bound to setbacks. Live from your heart. It appears as though society has been struck by a hypnotic dart, forgotten who we are. Most of our ancestors were aboriginal to this land. Not all of them came from afar. Trauma has become the new norm. Children growing up scarred. We must break these mental chains with the use of knowledge acting as our crowbar. The amount of disparaging misinformation programmed into our mind is bizarre. Happiness being sucked from the ones who deserve it most, like fireflies enclosed in a jar. Oxygen deprived. Most infrastructure, intellect, and assets derived from melanin dominant minds. Ra reminds us that we don't need anyone say so to shine. Therefore, unapologetically express who you are. Elevate your vibrations. Otherwise, disconnected from this matrix will be hard. Your aura acts as your guard. Never overplay your part. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Allowing someone to disrupt your peace is self-inflicted treason. People change like seasons. Deal with nobody's antics. Send that nonsense right back to the projector. Your divine feminine will prevail once you stop allowing negativity to affect her.
Wow. Wow. That is powerful. That is powerful. Wow. That's amazing. So you have, let's see, you said you had a Cash App?
Yes.
And
Cash App and Zelle.
And Zelle. So if people want to support you, I mean, you're only 20 years old and you have like all of this amazing knowledge and a message to share with people.
Yes.
How would people donate to you?
My Cash App is mlogic888, and my Zelle is my phone number, which will be in the description. So will my Cash App.
Excellent, excellent. And if you would like to support me, you can also, I have PayPal, Angie at ozakitalent.com. That's my business. I'm a music teacher. So yeah, Angie at ozakitalent.com. It's been fantastic talking with you today, and just, you know, these past few days that you've been spending here at the Grafton House of Blues has been wonderful. I'd really like to thank our mutual friend, Black Pearl, for inspiring both of us
For sure.
to open our mouths and to be here. And hopefully all of you listening can share this. That would be great. You know, Go ahead and share this and support 2 female writers. And thankful that you guys have listened today. So I think that's it for today. Open your mouth conversations with Angie. Again, we're going to be continuing to talk to various creative people. It's a passion of mine to see that artists are heard, and we're not always heard, you know, and so that's kind of why the whole topic of open your mouth. people need to hear what we have to say. You know, we really have a lot of wisdom to share. And this world is quite difficult right now. As you shared in that last poem that you wrote, there's a lot of mentalities out there that are not healthy. People need, the war is in the mind. The war is in the mind. It is in the mind. And we need to encourage ourselves. We need to encourage other people to see themselves in a positive light. So
for sure. And I would like to add to that, because some people wouldn't even know who the conflict is between. I would say I learned about the different conflicts, like man versus nature, man versus man, stuff like that when I was in school. I would say the conflicts that we're dealing with is not only man versus man, as far as the imposing forces on our mind, but I will also say man versus self and man versus nature as well, because a lot of the behaviors we've adapted over time are truly self-sabotaging behaviors, and they go against everything that we stand for. So it's like once we acknowledge that, then we will be able to see what the battlefield actually is, aside from knowing that there's a war going on. But
that's really excellent. I never thought of it that way. What does your shirt say before we go?
Try yoga, not me.
I love
Try
that.
yoga, not me.
And you have another shirt too that you came up with. What is the other shirt, the slogan that you have?
So the hoodie that I have, it was actually made by a friend of mine named Damani. He has a brand called Made by Producer 10, and the logo is Stay True. But he was able to add my quote on there: break bad habits before they have a chance to break you.
It's wonderful.
And this shirt is also, shout out to Sage Our City. I got it from Dominique. Well, I believe her name is on here. Gabriel.
Nice,
Gabriel.
nice,
Sage Our
nice.
City.
Yay. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.